Number 1. Storytelling. How to make the most boring lecture exciting. Imagine your childhood, whom you love the most. A teacher who always came up with his notes and just started teaching you the algebra. Prove that a plus b whole square equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Or a teacher who came up with an exciting story. For example, once upon a time, there is a boy who loved to live a happy life. But the problem is his own parents don't want him to be happy because he is adopted and they want to use him as a labor. One day he saw a beautiful girl while gardening in the lawn. He was stunned because the girl was very beautiful not from the outside but from the inside. He saw the girl's kindness. She loves to help people and want to live a happy life too. As she was stepping to her home, the orphan boy followed him. He was crossing the road to talk to her, but suddenly a truck came up from nowhere and hit the boy. And you know what happened then? So that's how storytelling works. Do you love this fictional story or not? Did you just engage with the story? Did I grab your attention? Let me know in the comment section. No matter how interestingly you talk, how much of the fact you know, but if you have a boring or long lecture and nobody is gonna listen to you. But if you have an interesting story with the same knowledge, facts and figures, then people will listen to you for hours. Because while watching a movie or listening to a story, we don't know how the time was flew by and we fully engage ourselves with the story. So next time, whenever you are in a conversation, use this technique if necessary, but don't use it in a small talk. Your story, character and knowledge might be amazing, but the person may be in a hurry. So use it accordingly. Do you know that there are two schools of thought when it's come to negotiation? Number one is believes that you have to negotiate hard and conquer other side. It means it's not enough to win. Someone has to lose. And the second is principle negotiation. Negotiating softly in order to put a strain on the relationship, then principle negotiation falls into the second camp. Negotiating properly means that everyone gets more than they originally hold for. Sometimes it's hard, even impossible, to reach an agreement, and that's why principle negotiation is like a secret recipe for solving tough problems when reaching an agreement seems impossible. Here's how it works. Number A. Focus on the thing, not the person. Instead of letting personal feelings get in the way, concentrate on what really matters, the main point of the negotiation. Number B. Find similarities, not differences. Instead of thinking about who's stronger or weaker, try to see where you and the other person overlap. What do you both want or need? Finding common ground can lead to a win-win solution. Ask for yourself, what does the other person need from me? Do we have common interest? Number C. Good enough, not perfect. Don't aim for the stars when you are getting to an agreement. It means never aim for the maximum possible outcome, because perfection is like chasing a unicorn. It's rumored to exist, but nobody has ever seen it. But alongside, when you are not reaching your desired outcome, always have a backup plan. Your plan B must be ready just in case things don't work out as expected. There are two main ways people approach negotiation. One way is to play hardball, where one side wins and the other loses, and the other way, which principle negotiation follows, is all about cooperation. It's like saying, let's work together to find a solution where everyone walks away feeling satisfied. So, principle negotiation is like being a problem-solving superhero, focusing on the problem, finding common ground, and make sure everyone comes out a winner in the end. But you know what? This technique works well when you combine with this technique. Number 3. The Power Method. This lesson is borrowed from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and the author is teaching us some smart strategies for handling arguments and negotiations. Number A. Never argue hesitantly. Be confident in your arguments. If you're not entirely sure, pause for a moment and think about it, because hesitation weakens your stance. So it's better to speak up only when you are sure and stick to your point. If it's not perfect, then first be sure about it, because people trust confident speakers more than hesitant ones. Number B. Talk less. Instead of trying to win by talking a lot, listen more and choose your words carefully. Talking too much can make your argument seem ordinary and may even backfire, as no one likes feeling cornered. Number C. Act ignorant. Sometimes acting less intelligent than you are can catch your opponent off guard. Making them feel clever can make them drop their guard, giving you an opportunity to strike. Number D. Give up. If you can't convince someone, consider if it's worth continuing the argument or not. Admitting defeat with a smile can actually make you seem more confident, and showing less interest can make your opponent less satisfied with their win. So guys, let's play a game. Now our next method is game theory. Let's say a group of friends decides to stop giving each other Christmas presents. They feel pressured to buy gifts, and it's hard to find something meaningful for someone who seems to have everything. However, despite agreeing not to exchange gifts, some people still end up buying presents secretly. Now, the person who receives a gift but didn't give one feels guilty, while the other person who gave a gift but didn't receive one feels disappointed. This creates conflict and tension within the group. There are two simple solutions to this problem, both involving communication. Number one, either everyone agrees to give gifts so no one feels left out or guilty. Number two, or everyone agrees not to give gifts so no one feels disappointed or pressured. However, for these solutions to work, everyone in the group needs to stick to the plan and make a binding agreement. This can be challenging because people may forget or feel tempted to break the agreement. So it's better to talk openly and come to a mutual agreement rather than letting conflicts arise. As the saying goes, meeting face to face and discussing is better than having a fight. This way, everyone's feelings are considered and the group can avoid unnecessary tension and conflicts. Now, the iceberg theory, explained by Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud compares human behavior to an iceberg, just like how only a small part of an iceberg is visible above water. Freud believes that only a small part of our behavior is conscious, while the majority is driven by our unconscious thoughts and feelings. In communication, the visible part is what we say, while the hidden part includes our tone of voice, gestures, and true intentions. For example, if someone says they are fine but their tone sounds sad, the hidden message might be that they are actually feeling down. Understanding someone's values, behavior patterns, and motives helps us see more of the iceberg and better understand their words and actions. To encourage honesty in others, we can start by being open about our own mistakes. This way, we lower the waterline of the iceberg, making it easier to see what's the beneath of the surface. So just like tears and hope are hidden beneath the surface of an iceberg, our true feelings and intentions are hidden beneath our words and actions, waiting to be understood by those who can see beyond the surface. If you are a couple, parent, or you have a sibling, then try this technique with them, because you never know what's on their mind. It's only gonna make worse the situation until you apply this technique. Okay, I have a task for you. Let's see how many people can do this. Can you sum up your whole life within just 6 words? Let me know in the comment section how many of you can do this. And our next technique is the 6-word rule. Summing up a whole life in just 6 words might seem impossible, but it's actually a fun challenge. It started when Ernest Hemingway bet he could write a story in just 6 words and came up with "for sale, baby shoes, never worn." This simple phrase carries a lot of emotion and tells a whole story in just a few words. Then, in 2006, Larry Smith asked people to sum up their lives in just 6 words. Some examples include, "I still make coffee for do," showing the lingering feeling of loss, "cursed with cancer, blessed with friends," reflecting on the challenges and support in life, and "Dad died, Mom crazy, me too," capturing a complex family dynamic. These short memoirs became popular because they show how language can be powerful even in its brevity. While long sentences and complex ideas have their places, the 6-word rule reminds us to keep things concise and get to the heart of what we want to say. So if something is important, it's okay to keep it short and sweet. Number 7. Second order observation. When you talk to your therapist, they do something called a second order observation. Imagine you are watching a movie. A first order observer just sees what's happening on the screen without thinking about how they are watching it. But a second order observer thinks about how they are watching the movie, like noticing if they are feeling scared or excited and why. For example, let's say a couple is deciding whether to move in together. She loves her apartment's location and space, but she worries it will still feel like her place, not theirs. They are stuck because they are only seeing their own side of things. A second order observer, like a therapist, helps them see things differently. They might suggest the couple treats the apartment like a new place they are moving into together. This changes how they see the situation and helps them find a solution they both like. We can't always see our own blind spots, the things we don't realize we are missing. That's why having someone else like a therapist can help us see things from a new perspective. So even though we can't observe ourselves observing, having a second observer can help us understand ourselves better. The last but not the least is the peek and rule. Imagine you are in a meeting, giving a presentation or in a job interview. Afterward, when you think back on how it went, your brain doesn't remember every little detail. Instead, it focuses on two main things: the best or worst part of the experience, the peak and how it ended. For example, if your date started off awkward but ended with a great conversation, you'll probably remember it as a good date overall. Or if your presentation had a boring middle but ended with an inspiring conclusion, people will likely think it went well. This idea, called the peak end rule, suggests that to make an experience memorable, focuses on making the peak moment and the ending positive. It's like how TV shows leave you wanting more by ending on a cliffhanger. So, when communicating with others, think about how you want to leave them feeling in the end. Whether it's a meeting, a conversation, or even a written piece, the last impression matters most. As you know that people love to watch animation, most likely to Pixar and Disney animations. And you know what? I love Disney and Pixar animations because they often use the peak and rule to create memorable stories with a problem and a happy ending. By following this storytelling structure, Disney and Pixar animations create emotionally engaging experiences that resonate with audiences long after the movie ends. The combination of a compelling problem and a memorable peak moment and a satisfying happy ending ensures that these stories stick with viewers and become cherished classics.